Well, away from Labour matters, let's take a quick trip to Parliament, where the minority side on the Finance Committee says it will paint the right picture of the economy as it engages with a team from the International Monetary Fund. The IMF, as part of its in-depth data gathering, is meeting the Finance Committee. Parliamentary correspondent Mark Klucher reports.
For a week now, the International Monetary Fund has been having what can be described as negotiations with the government over a bailout the Ghanaian government is seeking for the economy that is suffering. The IMF is not only sticking guns with the government side, but it's also extending their tenterhooks beyond the government. They've been meeting the Finance Committee of Parliament, one most important committee that the IMF is seeking to get a lot of information from.
When they ask them for the arrears, they say, oh, the arrears have not been audited. Since when did we audit arrears before we report them? Arrears is about a cut-off point. But because they have reported 8 billion, now they have to report over 30 billion. IMF, open your eyes there. COVID, open your eyes. Review all their documents, their budget statement and whatever. Review, open your eyes. That's where the meat is. IMF, if it's possible, go and sit at Bank of Ghana and check how much they have given to governments.
The government has been forced to postpone its constitutionally mandated media review because of the engagement it's having with the IMF.
We scheduled the date for 13th before the announcement of the engagement with the IMF. So clearly, as human as we are, we should all understand that in this data finding mission of the IMF, we need that space and time to address that and give them, once we are done, 25th, we'll come to Parliament and do the mid-year budget review.
And that data probably will take some months before they can get the data. And after they've got to get the data, then that can inform the negotiation as to how the program design should be. So currently, nothing is on the table. Let's wait for the Minister of Finance to appear before us. It's too early for me to say they've run away, but it shows clearly that they are unprepared.
Meanwhile, the government has stated that irrespective of the time frame that the discussions or the negotiations will take, it does not intend to hide anything from the Bretton Woods institution. What is important, they say, is their ability to engage with them and find a proper solution to the economic challenges that the country faces. Mark Klucher, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
And we're going to be staying a while longer on this topic. Let me go live on Zoom now to engage with my colleague, Mark Klucher. He's been in Parliament all day. Mark, thank you for your time. What more do we know about this meeting?
Well, that meeting just ended a short while ago. From my sources within the meeting, I'm told that yes, there was participation from both sides of the House. However, I'm told that just 5 majority MPs, including the chairman, were in that meeting. The rest of them were members of the minority on the Finance Committee. There are 25 members on the committee. Now, the IMF team did indicate to the Finance Committee that the Ghanaian economic situation is quite dire, and that has forced the country to actually reach out to them because it's an emergency situation. Now, they have also said that they have only been meeting stakeholders and that they are asking the country to remain united in this cause as they are seeking a bailout. Now, the issue of job sustainability, the IMF says, is bad. Our debt levels are so high, and that expenditure on social policies are also very high, and that there's a need for all of them to rally together to be able to come out of this. Now, they also make the point whilst meeting the Finance Committee that there's a $1 billion loan facility that has to be approved by the House, or else the country could grind to a halt. So they're urging them. Yes, of course, they are supposed to do their work as MPs. They know what they have to do, but they're just letting them know that it's equally important that if that's not done, if that loan agreement is not passed or approved, it could be that maybe in the next few weeks the difficulties could face us squarely in the face. So the meeting, as I speak with you now, is done. The IMF team has left. The members of the committee are actually unwilling to talk because for them it's all about meeting with the stakeholders and they are gathering of data as we speak.
And just on your final points, Komla, we know that the minority side have sworn heaven and earth to quote and unquote expose the government. Do we have a sense of what exactly they've been telling the IMF team?
The IMF team in meeting with them has asked that anybody that has any document individually, their offices are open, that they can bring those documents to their team so that they could work with. They did not necessarily ask them to do so in the capacity as an organized group. So it's been open, and that if you have any document that can help them in really uncovering, if you like, or getting into the bottom of how we got to where we are now as a country, you're welcome to do so by just submitting the document as an individual to the IMF office or their secretariat, and it will be treated with all the urgency as it is.
My colleague Komla Kluche giving us details of the IMF meeting with the minority team on the Finance Committee.